My name's Phil Lynch. I've been at the club for about 5.5 years now. Originally joined as the CEO of the media business and have recently transitioned to the CEO of our digital products and experiences, which effectively means managing our direct-to-fan relationships, anything from our website to our app to social media, MUTV distribution, all of the different touch points across our fan ecosystem. And I think partnering with the DXC and given their experience and what they've done in the marketplace, really looking forward to working with them and having a back and forth to help us prioritize and what will be the most needle moving. Typically, a lot of times you could structure a relationship where it's partner company. This feels very authentic and organic. They have staff based here in Manchester. They sit right with the rest of our staff. We have conversations on a daily basis. We're working through roadmaps. We're working through various forecast models in terms of engagement. So it's almost an extension of our team rather than the way a lot of these relationships are. It's almost like vendor partner, but this is actually additive and more collaborative. A lot of sports clubs historically, I think, were kind of very verticalized in the fact that you had your ticketing business over here, you had your digital business over here, you had your CRM business over here, you had your retail business over here. And what we've realized probably 4 or 5 years ago, and again, this is why we're leveraging DXC to assist us on this journey, is for us, it always starts with the fan. And it's one fan experience, regardless of those individual touch points, and really starting to understand how do our match day fans interact with our digital products? How do they interact with social platforms? What is the delta or the variance between Vietnam and the UK? So I think if you look at kind of each one of those verticals, we've all been managing businesses. And again, I said we're probably about 4 or 5 years on this journey. But I think what we're going to be doing and with DXC's support and advice is really that layer on the top of really trying to pull it all together and ultimately really understanding our fans enough so that we would know what's the right content or the right product to put in front of the right fan at the right time. We've invested significantly over the last 4 or 5 years in building out that data lake and our CDP and trying to manage that data again to deliver the strategy that we had just talked about. In a lot of these situations, you have a new partner that come in and they want to come in immediately and tell you everything they've done and they want to tell you exactly how to do it. And I think, we do have a unique culture. We have a very unique fan base in terms of the globalization of it. And what I've been impressed and really enjoyed about DXC is for the first several months, they've kind of just come in. They've tried to immerse themselves into the business. They're asking questions. They're trying to really understand how we function, how the culture works, what's most important to us. And I'm very fortunate that I work at a club. There's a lot of passion here. And there's a lot of people that work extremely hard and they're very passionate and engaged and emotional about their jobs. And the most exciting bit, although there are quite a bit, is the launch of our Manchester United official app. An app that, one, supplements the match day experience, but also allows our global fan base to engage on a regular basis. We reached the #1 in the app stores in over 180 countries worldwide. If you added up the time spent of the top 25 football clubs and you took the 24, that's about 50% of the total engagement time. If you took just us, we're the other 50%. So in terms of how we're driving engagement, downloads, active users, it's just on a different scale. So very excited about that and kind of the next evolution of that. We have a MUTV linear television network, linear television, very widely distributed. We've now taken that product direct to consumer. That then feeds into the content creation and the production long term. We've now embedded that MUTV app it was the first project we did with DXC. We embedded MUTV into our official app. So now it's a simplified user journey, one product. Where I think prior to that, there was a little bit of confusion over what app do I use for what content. There's the match day attending fans in terms of the 76,000 that are in the stadium cheering the team on in person. And then there's a very large digital audience engaging with us globally. So again, I think it comes back to how are we creating a mobile app that has enough value add to the 76,000 people in the stadium, which it can provide almost a second screen experience, give them more data and insights into player data, not just the typical possession passes forward saves, but a little bit more data in terms of how the players are influencing the game. I think that's very helpful as a second screen experience within those in the stadium. But then likewise, how do we make the editorial, the video content, and the narrative during the match day compelling enough for those that aren't in the stadium so they understand what's happening here and ultimately bringing the excitement of those 76,000 out to the masses globally. So again, it's about marrying the two, but I think the consistent thread across both Matchday or the digital fans is our mobile application. I think at times, a lot of sports codes, there was a very heavy focus on social media, right? Big numbers, fish where the fish are. I think the biggest problem with that is they control the data, right? So you can't make these insights and you can't understand those users. So as we've shifted, and that was the main focus behind shifting from a social to an O&O strategy, was build out the mothership, understand your fans, be able to build products that they desire and they want. I think where we are currently, and I think it's probably fair to say, we have a ton of data now. And I think after going from limited data to massive data, now I think the challenge is, and it's not unique to Manchester United, this is every company that's on this journey, is how do you now get the insights from that data? And how do you set up business intelligence to drive that decision making versus just reporting the data and just saying, here's the KPIs and we hit the KPIs or not, but kind of diving into that next level down, how or why, and how does Vietnam differ than the USA, which differ than Norway? And then, okay, that's interesting, but this is working in Norway, but this isn't working in the US. What does that mean for the content production? Should we change the format over there? So, and first and foremost, everything for us is about football. It's football first. We want to win every match. Our manager's been very adamant about that. Every match we play, we want to take home 3 points. Considering I'm on the business side, for me, it's about continuing to grow that reach and engagement and ultimately getting more people, not only more people, but more people spending more time. Ultimately, it goes back to direct dialogue with fans of understanding what they need and what they want.